Hello everyone, Jen here, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. This one's a little bit different from my last few. I did a couple of beach builds, and then I did that Fallout house shelter build. You should definitely go check that one out and listen to me ramble on endlessly about I don't even remember what now. I was so tired when I did that video. I do vaguely remember talking about how that build triggered my claustrophobia, and I went from at the beginning of the build thinking how kind of interesting and cool it might be to live in a fallout shelter like that house to nope, never gonna happen. You cannot get me underground for nothing. I am not doing it. But it was a fun build to do anyways, so go check it out. If you enjoy this build and this video, don't forget to hit the like button before the end of the video, and if you feel so inclined, maybe even subscribe to my channel and keep an eye out for future builds. I do a mix of all kinds of different builds. Honestly, I don't have a single style that I stick with. I do tend to lean more towards like, I don't know what you call it, not as heavily modern as this one is. This one is very, very modern, very boxy and square and like black and white and just very modern as far as the structure itself goes. I don't tend to lean that heavily modern. I guess I would say that I lean more towards like ranch style houses. If I really had to just slap some kind of name on it, ranch style, single story ranch style houses are probably my favorite style of house to build, but also to live in. I just like those kind of houses. So you will probably see more of those here than you will of everything else. But I do a mix of all of them. I do. Yes, I actually said that. Oh my goodness. It's late. I'm recording this at almost 10 o'clock at night. I've started over so many times now. Anyways, about this particular build. So I've been seeing three trending things on like in the Sims community lately. Beach builds of all sorts, which makes sense because we're all sick of winter. We all want to go hang out at the beach. We all want to be on vacation right now. And then like eco living type, not really gardening or farming related builds, but eco friendly, eco living, eco lifestyle type stuff has also been popular lately. And then modern. I don't know, it feels like it's making a comeback. I don't know if it just never left and I was out of the loop. I hit my microphone, sorry. That tends to happen to me sometimes. I get out of the loop on these things sometimes. But it felt weird and random with the other two things. I can see it, obviously the beach builds, like I said, and the eco living stuff is like farm adjacent, gardening, that kind of stuff. So it makes sense. We're entering heavy gardening, farming season. Eco friendliness is on everybody's mind as we go into the summer season. So that makes sense. But a resurgence of the modern architecture style that just felt like it came out of nowhere to me. But I have a tendency not to pay attention to these things, so it was probably always around and never left, and I just didn't notice. Fun fact, the structure and the floor plan of this house took twice as long to do as the decorating portion. It takes up the just the structure, not even the landscaping, not even the patio or the front porch, just the structure itself plus the layout takes up approximately 11 minutes of the video, give or take a little bit, which is almost exactly half. Whereas the landscaping and the decorating all take up the other half, which doesn't sound weird to most people, I think, but it's weird for me. I don't spend that much time on the structure, I don't think, usually. I mean, I guess sometimes I do. I don't know. It just felt like the structure itself took so long to do. I got so annoyed and I cut so much out of the video of demolishing walls and starting over and replacing things, just trying to find a configuration that would work. In the end, I'm very happy with the downstairs. I am not as happy with the upstairs. The downstairs is fine. We've got a kitchen, living room, dining room, main entry room or entryway or foyer or whatever you want to call it. And we even have a little bathroom down there. But the upstairs, I could only fit 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom in it. And the nursery bedroom is really oddly shaped. Like really oddly shaped. I think you can kind of see it right now, but you'll see it even better when I'm actually decorating it. I'm not thrilled with I like the way the decorating of it turned out. I'm just not thrilled with the shape of it. And I know you're not supposed to say that about your own builds. You're supposed to gush over your own builds and only say good things about your own builds because that gives people good feelings and then they like your builds. But anyone who looks at that room will say that's an oddly shaped room. So I'm not saying anything that other people won't just naturally notice on their own. I do already have this up on the gallery, by the way. So if you head into the Sims gallery and you look up JSIM underscore LADY, it should be the very first thing that comes up for me because it is my most recent build. I'm looking at it right now in the in-game gallery, and as of recording this, it already has 19 downloads, so that's pretty good. It's only been on the gallery for a few hours, so that's pretty good for me. But yeah, I would love to change my name to just to JSimLady on the gallery, but EA will not let me. It says it's already taken, and it's not. I've looked and looked and looked. There is nobody with the name JSimLady in The Sims 4 as a user. Either that or there is, and they've just literally never uploaded anything ever. I think what the actual problem is that my display name is JSimLady, but then there's like a secondary display name that you can have. It's a nickname. You can have a nickname, and that's just JSimLady without the underscore. And I'm thinking that maybe that's causing issues. I don't know, but I would love to have it without the underscore. If you can tell me how to get my name without the underscore, I would be ever so appreciative. But yeah, it's definitely JSim_lady for the Sims 4 gallery. And I know that's annoying, excuse me. It's annoying. Believe me, it's been annoying to me too. Anyways, back to the build. So, I I was gonna try to change it right now, but I can't. I don't know why every few months I keep trying to change it, but it won't work. Anyways, moving on. So the landscaping is my kind of landscaping, very modern, very basic. What would you call it? Like minimalist landscaping, I guess. Although I will say a fluffier, more filled out landscaping is growing on me. As you can kind of see here, I do fill it up a little bit more than I probably used to or typically would have. Except that recent beach build. That one drove me so mad because I could not get any landscaping, and the little bit of landscaping that I put there, it looked terrible looking at it after the fact. It looked so terrible, and that's what's on the gallery is the terrible landscaping. Anyways, that was that real time build with me beach, like I don't know what you'd call it, like cottage bungalow type thing, whatever it was, that I did last week, early last week or something. Anyways, I could not do the landscaping on that. I had no idea what to do because it was a beach lot, and in my mind, that shouldn't have had any landscaping at all. But it seems like people prefer there to be landscaping even on beach lots. So I felt like it was necessary. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. But, anyways, that one was terrible. I will fully admit to that. That one was terrible. But generally, I go for a simple, minimalistic, sort of like this, but even slightly more pared down than this, is my style of landscaping. But like I said a few minutes ago before I started rambling, um, the fluffier, fuller, more filled in landscaping is kind of starting to grow on me a little bit. I'm not hating it like I used to. I used to hate overgrown garden type landscaping. Yeah, landscaping. I don't know why I stumbled on that word. That was weird. Anyways, I used to hate it, and now I don't. I see the beauty in it. I have changed my thinking, if you will, to see the beauty in it, and I do like it more. But there is something to be said for the more simplistic landscaping as well, especially with a modern build like this. Like it almost demands to have simpler landscaping. And yes, my mouth is getting dry, so my voice is getting more hoarse the longer I talk. Yeah, that's annoying. I know. I'm sorry. So many annoyances for one video. But luckily, we are more than halfway done, so you don't have to listen to me for too much longer. Oh gosh, I think the living room and the kitchen took me the absolute longest out of all the rooms. I'm trying to think back on them. Yeah, the kitchen and the living room were the toughest rooms for me to do because of what you generally put in living rooms and kitchens, and the fact that there were so many big windows in this build that it made it really hard to put the necessary items in those rooms. Actually, now that I think about it, the bedrooms were a little hard too, and I ended up deleting a few windows, one from the nursery room, and then one or two from the parents' or primary bedroom. So yeah, I ended up deleting windows so that I could put beds in there and not block windows. I don't like blocking windows. I am not the kind of builder who can put in these tall windows that go all the way to the floor and then stick kitchen cabinets in front of them. Like, that really irritates me. I do not like doing that. I cannot imagine that ever being done in real life. So it bothers me to do it in the game. I don't think very many people do it. I think it pretty much bothers everyone, but I just needed to make a point of how hard this build was because of these giant windows, and you still have to be able to put the basics in. So the kitchen is very small, but it's kind of a small house. It doesn't look overly small, but it is actually a small, only 2-bedroom family home. So it's not meant to be a mansion. It's not meant to be an overly large home. It is on the expensive side, but it's not meant to be large. It's meant to have a small footprint and then be eco-friendly so that it contributes to turning the neighborhood green. So you get big living in a small compact space. Does that make sense without it being a tiny home? I used to love tiny homes, just like I used to love the idea of living in a fallout shelter that was like designed like a town or something. And then the reality set in of what that would really be like. And I'm like, no, I'm good with my little suburban house. It's small by most American standards, but it's plenty big enough for me. And it's not a tiny house, so that's all that matters. I watched a lot of shows about those types of places, and they point out a lot of the bad things about living in places like those, like for the tiny house stuff, claustrophobia. You can't have anything, and most people, believe it or not, most people who live in tiny houses either have storage sheds or they have relatives who are hanging on to at least half of their stuff. Most tiny house people who live in tiny houses have way more stuff than they ever show on those shows and YouTube videos. It's just tucked away in a storage shed somewhere. So really, are they really doing anything better by having a tiny house and a storage shed, or having relatives hang on to all of their possessions while they live in a tiny house? I mean, if they're doing it for the environment or whatever, that's not really helpful for the environment. You're basically taking up the space of a small home. Just get a small home or get a larger apartment or something. I don't know. I just find it weird. And the fallout shelter stuff, obviously, it would not be good for anybody to live underground long term. That just would be bad all the way around. That would definitely be a desperate times call for desperate measures situation, living underground. But yeah, I used to be so obsessed with both of those, and now I have realized how wrong I was in being so obsessed with them. But we are finally to the dining room, and if you thought it was interesting that the structure, the outside structure alone took up half of the video, and the decorating plus landscaping only took up the other half, you'll find this really, really funny. The dining room, kitchen, and living room took up an extraordinary, wow, I can't even speak anymore, amount of time. The bedrooms go by within a few minutes because we're almost done, at least with the speed build part now. Yeah, I managed to do the bedrooms and the bathroom in just a couple of minutes, where it took, what, 10, 11 minutes? 10 minutes to do just mainly the kitchen and living room. This is such a weird build, but I'm glad I did it. I like a lot of the different pieces of it, and it was fun, and it worked out my brain a little bit to do something a little bit different. The only thing I don't like about the nursery room is the shape of it, but I was able to decorate it in a way that made it look nice, so it turned out fine in the end. And yeah, I feel like I've basically spent this entire video rambling, but I probably do that a lot, and sometimes I don't even realize I'm doing it. I'm just talking, and I don't realize that I've moved it 10 subjects away within 5 minutes from where I started. So finally, we're to the nursery, and I tried to include plants in almost every room except the upstairs hallway, because the upstairs hallway was so small. I didn't want to put anything in there and risk your Sims having routing issues or just having it visually overcrowded in that space. I don't remember. Did I put at least one plant in the downstairs entryway? I feel like I did, right? I think I did. I tried to remember to put plants in pretty much every room, because the whole point is that this house is supposed to help bring the neighborhood to the green side of things. So now that we're to the last bathroom, we can go to the walkthrough, and then you can hit the like button if you enjoyed this build. As you can see, starting with the roof there, I did include a wind turbine and several solar panels. I made sure they were the roof ones so that you didn't have to do maintenance on them. I remembered the trash can outside and the mailbox this time. And then let's go inside to the front room, the foyer, the entryway. I did include a plant. Yay, I'm awesome. Like I said, I tried to include plants everywhere. So this is the main entry room. I couldn't put a lot in here because there are so many doorways. But then we go over into the living room, and I'm so glad to have that frame TV in the game now, because it was perfect for this build. I think this room turned out really cute despite the massive amount of windows taking up so much space. I even kind of like the kitchen, even though it's incredibly small. I think it turned out cute nonetheless, so I'm even happy with the kitchen. I didn't include window coverings anywhere except the bathrooms and the bedrooms, by the way. And then here's the downstairs bathroom. Nothing fancy, just a bathroom. Then we have the dining room right here. Do a little look over. We've got a bar for making drinks. We've got lots and lots of plant stuff in here, because this leads out to the backyard where we have a whole big planting area, and then some of those smaller wall planter things there, a couple of trees, but I left a little open yard space for kid stuff, or just for the kid to go out there and play with their friends or whatever. Kids love having backyard space to run around in, so let's head upstairs now. And this is the hallway, and look at this hallway. This is why I didn't put anything in this hallway. The windows help, but it is such a tight squeeze. There really isn't a lot of space to put anything. And here's the oddly shaped nursery. Now look at this. This is well decorated for how odd this nursery is. It actually, the decorating turned out nice. It's just a really oddly shaped room. And then your basic bathroom again. I don't tend to go overboard with the bathrooms, but Here we are in the primary bedroom or parents' bedroom or whatever you want to call it. Very cozy, very plant friendly because it gets a lot of direct sunlight. So I got lots of plants for them in there. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.